We want to warn you that this video we're going to show you is extremely blasphemous.
There's no point in saying good morning, because it certainly is not one.
Roe v. Wade, no longer the law of the land.
I am spitting mad over this.
So beyond livid at what is going on, and I'm going to turn my fear into anger.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
The world is soon going to see the God that they mock and make fun of is no God to joke with. If you don't know, several days ago, Rover swade was federally overturned, meaning since 1973, it has been legal in America for a baby to be murdered in its mother's womb. There is a real spirit of molech that people are sacrificing their babies to, which began thousands of years ago and still to this day. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Who was Molech? Molech was an ancient god worshipped by the people neighboring Israel during Old Testament times. Molech represents the most repulsive of acts in God's sight, the ritual sacrifice of children to a pagan god, which was condemned in the strongest way by the Lord, including punishment by death. The first mention of Molech is in Leviticus 18 verse 21, in which the Lord commanded, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord." The worship of Molech clearly involved ritual child sacrifice, something God's people were not to practice. This act was punishable by death, according to Leviticus 20 verse 2, which states, "Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones." Further, child sacrifice to Molech was considered profanity against God's holy name. Leviticus 20 verse 3 says, "And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name." Not only were those who sacrificed their children to be stoned to death, those who ignored such a sacrifice would be abandoned by God. Leviticus 20, verse 4 and 5. "And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he giveth of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a whoring after him to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people." Yet this clear and stern warning from the Lord did not end with practice of Molech worship among the Israelites. Even King Solomon participated. 1 Kings 11 verse 7 says, "Then King Solomon built an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon." In addition, this verse connects Molech worship with the Ammonites, one of the groups God elsewhere condemns for pagan worship. King Josiah would later take the law's command against Molech worship very seriously. The final mention of Molech in the Old Testament is found in God's words to Jeremiah 32 verse 35. "And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind, that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin." The wombs have become the gas chambers of America, and just up until a few days ago, there's been a law overturned where at a federal level, it is no longer a constitutional right to get an abortion, but now they're letting the states decide, meaning 20 plus states have banned abortion. This is a massive victory for the church, for life, and for what we prayed about. The mind-blowing thing is it's been radio silenced from the top Christian worship bands, the top preachers. Nobody wants to say a word and upset the world and go against it. The loudest song they've ever played is their silence. They're not saying a word about abortion or about Rover swade because they don't want to shake up or speak against the culture. Now, does this mean that women will no longer be able to get an abortion in the United States? Not hardly. It simply means that the states get to decide if women will still be able to kill their preborn child at abortion mills and using abortive pills. But for some women, it's not enough. Abortion has never been about choice. It's about escaping the consequences of your choice by taking all choices away from someone else. It's been argued that Rover swade was all about privacy, and what a woman does with her body and her own child is completely up to her.
This investigation of Planned Parenthood is based on false premises, one after another after another. It's time to stop wasting time, get on with meaningful work, and stop picking on women and trying to take their choice away.
I've warned about how this decision risks the broader right to privacy for everyone. That's because Roe recognized the fundamental right to privacy.
Almost 100% of all the abortions out there take place between the 7th and 10th week of pregnancy.
A D&E procedure is a blind abortion, so picture yourself introducing this and grabbing anything you can blindly and pull, and I do mean hard, and out pops a leg about that big, which you put down on the table next to you. Reach in again, pull out an arm about the same length, which you put down on the table next to you. And use this instrument again and again to tear out the spine, the intestines, the heart and lungs.
If you take the 8th week by example, all of the organs are already present within the child. Its heart is pumping at 21 days. There's brain waves at 35 days, fully functioning. The arms and the legs are beginning to grow. It feels pain. Bodily fluids are flowing and pumping throughout the body. The kidneys are cleansing fluids. The liver is making blood cells. The external body structure begins to form. It responds to sound. It sucks its thumb. And there are fingerprints. Even identical twins that share their DNA do not have identical fingerprints. There will never be another child than the child that is formed in that womb exactly like that child. The world is being absolutely loud in voicing their agenda, and Kendrick Lamar proves that with his blast from this video here, speaking out for women's rights. Meanwhile, the church is silent.
Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. They judge.
Absolutely disgusting. As you can see, thousands of people clapping, shouting, and roaring. These are demons literally manifesting through people screaming, "Yeah, women's rights." In today's culture, people are screaming and angry because we can't kill babies in the womb anymore. In many states, we have a long way to go. In California, it's still legal. Our silence for abortion for the unborn is going to speak loud on Judgment Day. We need to speak out against this. Pro-choice Christians are oxymorons. Here is Joe Rogan, who is pro-choice. He thinks that it is crazy for pro-life people to be vilified because he understands that the pro-life position believes that it is a baby in the womb.
But they'll tell you that they are babies.
Yeah.
And the problem with that argument is it holds some water. And I'm 100% pro-choice.
Abortion is murder. Do not be mistaken. These babies need somebody to speak up for them. Proverbs 31 verse 9. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. It is detestable to God to shed blood. It's an epidemic, and God has overturned this law. We're not battling people, we're battling demonic spirits. Ephesians 6 verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Notice the mainstream media won't talk badly about any other God but our God, because all the other gods are fake and the devil knows we serve the true God. That's what he goes against, and that's what he wants to blaspheme. life.